We here, the Negroes. Well, we got Negress here also, so I mean, it's not just
Wow.
me. Main Spider Can here, aka Mr. AKA the critique of the anime. Got Lelouch V here, Ebony Moonbeam here, a Waifu Reviews. Go check out
Hey.
Jason Richardson will be on then and now, or y'all didn't do it yet, or you did it?
No, we dropped that yesterday. Yep, Jason Richardson from J1 Studios. We just had him on the Then and Now podcast. Go to Then and Now podcast on YouTube to find it. It's a good interview.
So watch that interview, and then Waifu Views. They'll be doing their second episode. Talking about cons and content creation and reviewing Darwin's game.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I'll tune in for that.
So they'll drop their Amazon wish list for anybody that wants to help them on their guilty pleasures. But we're here. We did our first episode on Hell's Paradise, second episode, Mashal, Magic and Muscles, and then this episode will be My Home Hero. So we're doing 4 episodes out, but
I'm talking
just the 3. Just the 3. This is our 3rd episode, so critique us. Will you continue watching us? Well, let it go. I don't know. Let me know. But we're here. Overall, what y'all think of the concept of the show?
Just straight concept is fire. It feels like they did a lot of research into like crime dramas, US style, maybe some K dramas, and they just figured out their own style and then put it into this anime. So I mean, conceptually, I give them high marks for that.
Yeah, just like Otis said, just storyline alone is really good. I happen to, Virgo gang, we right here, but I look at things very logically, and so I am very, very hard on anime that can be seen as the real world. Going to that, because then you sit there and you're like, realistically, this does not make sense. This is never going to happen in the real world, compared to most anime, especially shonen and stuff that falls into the fantasy category, where you can't really, you just kind of have to go in there and hope for the best and go with whatever they're throwing on the screen. So I think that can sometimes deter people from checking out shows like this. But for me, I loved the fact that I could look at it and say, okay, I think this is how I would act. I think this is how this would actually happen and stuff. The concept overall is really, really good. If it keeps up after this, I can see it being kind of like a 91 days kind of feel, like the Mafia real world type of thing. So I think it was good overall.
All right, so before we get into episode 1, Blerd Cartel follows on YouTube. Blerd Official, follow them on YouTube. Go to blerd.com. You can watch these episodes on there also. But episode 1. So it was kind of all over the place a little bit, but it grabbed you after a while. I didn't understand the highway scene. That was weird. So I don't know if it's like foreshadowing to something else. But the highway is a crash scene, and then we see the dad Tetsu as Rika, and you're gonna hate her probably because she does everything a young
I hate her.
does.
I hate her so much.
So he asked her to dinner, or lunch or whatever, and automatically he goes there. He's doing he's searching through stories of, I guess, short stories or something like that. He's like, oh, this ain't right, that ain't right, and trying to find something to critique, I guess. We don't know his job title or anything like that. He's just a salary man. All right, cool. The daughter gets there. She looks like it's 2020. It's full COVID garb and everything. It's like, all right. So she removes everything. She's all bruised up, and of course, like a normal parent would do. Oh, what happened to you? She's like, I fell multiple times. I'm like, you're like, no, is that boyfriend? Did he hit you or whatever? He just thinking logically, just like, I don't like dude, and you look like a thug. Did he hit you? She's like, no. Well, I'm leaving. I'm done. I don't want to talk to you no more. And then he's desperately a dad, he's just like crying on the restaurant
Girl
floor,
dad,
and
yeah.
other shit. And then he goes to her apartment, and then he overhears the thugs out there just like, yeah, I'm almost done with that broad or whatever. I had to hit her a couple times, and he says Rekka, and he ends up following them. And then this guy comes out of nowhere, just like, oh, yada yada yada. And then, well, I see you following our gang. It's like, whoa, guy, you got the wrong idea. So, like normal anime, I don't know why Japanese people like doing this, but he just drags him in the alleyway, strips him naked, takes a picture of him with his eye.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I see you around here again. It'll be more than I'll put this all over social media. Yada, yada. So, other than that happens, and then he ends up like not going home that night. He ends up going to the daughter's house, and then Kubuto, that's his name, the guy that's her boyfriend.
Let me get the character list.
I think it's Kubuto. So he ends up coming to the house. He's ranting as Raven and talking about, I'm just gonna bleed this girl for all she's worth and then leave her. And then he ends up just losing it. He's just like, oh, this can't go on anymore. So he ends up calling the boyfriend's phone. How he got the number, I don't know. And then he ends up Nobuto. Okay. So he ends up going to the closet. He's like, Rekka left you a surprise in the closet. And he ends up getting popped right in the dick. And then he ends up getting air conditioning with a rice cooker. And the mom comes in and okay. You can explain this. No yelling, no screaming, no shrieks or nothing, no gas.
You did the right thing. You did the right thing. That's all she had to say.
She's on go. Like, what you need me to do?
She watched a lot of CSI or something.
I think her family had her in some shit before. That's my guess, but
yeah, it definitely screams backstory.
So he's dead, and the Yakuza is pretty much looking for him right now, looking for the son, Nobuto, and he's just like, well, last we seen him was at his girlfriend's apartment, and then the mom went in, and he's like, I think Katsuki, he's like the top underling. He just waiting outside, just like he's using his logic too. It's like, oh, she's talking to somebody, so I mean, who is it? And then he ends up going inside the apartment and then gasp, and then that's how episode 1 ends. So, what's your take on episode 1 and just like how everything went?
You go first, Ashley.
I instantly, just like you said, I hated Rika, however you pronounce it. She is a horrible excuse of a young adult. And if I was ever like that as a young adult, mom, dad, I am so sorry, because she is such a brat. She is so rude and disrespectful. And but as a daddy's girl and the only girl, I get some of the behavior, the brattiness, and I definitely get the way the parents act towards her. And I liked the intro of like the different characters. The boyfriend is a menace. He must be stopped. Well, technically he was stopped, so, but he was a menace. The mom is definitely the GOAT when it comes to like staying level-headed. She didn't get shaken up or nothing. She was like, this isn't your fault. We're gonna be okay. What do we need to do? So I liked that aspect of it. I don't really understand. Like, we've seen it before in other shows, like the whole mafia thing. Like, or the Yakuza, you get in trouble and they take a picture ID and it's like, now we can find you. But I thought it was interesting that they kind of tied in 2023 and how we are about the internet and how we are worried about what gets out. And so then they threaten him by saying, we're going to put this photo on the net or whatever. So I was like, okay, that's a little different twist. Kiyoshi is the head, the lead, like, bad guy. First off,
yeah, you got the back attack and the scarf.
just from a girl's perspective, he's fine, and I like him, and I like his voice actor. But he's very smart. I like that he's not like any of these other goons. You can kind of tell why he has the rank that he has because he uses his critical thinking a lot. But and I thought that it was a natural progression of how sane people react to things. Like he sat there and he was trying to say, okay, maybe I'm overthinking this when he overheard the boyfriend and all the guys like talking about him beating up on women and playing them and trying to get all of their money and all that stuff like that. And then he just kind of snaps in the moment. It's like, I have to protect my kid. And I think anyone that has kids or loved ones can definitely see themselves in that character. So, but they're definitely giving us that he's like this kind of nerdy, kind of very passive man. That he probably gets walked over a lot and stuff. So when in that moment when we see how he reacts and what he does to the boyfriend, it's like, what? There has to be something behind that. Like, was that just you snapping, or is this legitimate? Like, are you low-key crazy and you just don't know it? So, I don't know. I thought the first episode was good. It kept me interested. I instantly wanted to see episode 2.
I agree with those points, but I didn't on my first watch through of this. I had to come back and watch it a second time once we said that we were watching this, because the first episode really bored me the first time going through. I thought it was like the overall tone of the show is kind of monotone. Like, you're following the main character, and he's very timid and reserved, and like the animation is not necessarily the highest quality, so nothing about it visually pops. The like even the action quote unquote action scenes you get aren't really like high energy. So like if you are not fully attentive into that show and catching the dialogue, it can kind of come off as boring. My second time around, though, like I was more focused on it, like I was watching more intently, and I got to understand the nuances of what was happening with the character. I wish they would have done a little bit more to kind of show how you got to him to like snap. Like I feel like one little bit of exposition on like some of his history early on would have done a little bit better in the episode, but overall. I did really enjoy it again the second time around. I'm not gonna lie and say that the first time, and I'm with you also. I can't stand the daughter. I like knowing as much as we see about the mom and dad, like as these 3 episodes go, like how that came from that. It was like bewildering to me a little bit. It was like you have none of these traits, like but. Yeah, overall, if we're doing out of 5 stars as usual, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 stars out of 5.
Can I say something? When you were talking about how it could come across boring and monotone, the first episode really reminded me of like Durarara, where it's just like very monotone. There's something dark about it, but you really don't know what the hell is going on. And it's like you really have to say, okay, I'm going to stick with it and see what happens next, because by the end of the first episode, you have way more questions than you had answers. So I definitely could see how if you watched it solo and especially just like the first episode, because see, I saw it and I felt like it was going to be a slow burn. So I put it on my watch list. And then when we decided that we were going to do this show, then I went in, watched it. And then I was able to watch 3 episodes at a time. So then I was able to keep the momentum going compared to being like, oh, well, that's it. Meh. So I think that's why I would probably give it a 4 out of 5.
Couple takeaways from the first episode. Naguto's dad, I guess. I don't know. He's not in the Yakuza. He's just hiring them to do just dirty work for them because he just like getting clients and stuff like that. And apparently, he got multiple personalities, and his boss bullied him, and then his wife left him, and then the son is the only thing he got left. So he's just like going extra hard for his kid. So I mean, and this is to save the Yakuza's job to find their son now. Well, his son now, because that was the role, I guess, to protect him at all costs. So takeaway from that, and the last takeaway was the damn daughter. The damn daughter's like, I'm not playing this fucking song ever again. For me to play this song, you need to buy my CD for 30,000 yen. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He bought some. He got a fucking hard copy, and he got it downloaded on his little iPod thing. So I was like,
wow.
That's one way to do it.
Wow.
Another thing about the first episode is you find out more in depth, I think, in the next episode, but that the reason he is Koichi is taking this so seriously and actually like putting in effort compared to some of the other guys is because he wants something to happen. Like he's waiting, like he's trying to keep somebody in power. He's trying to, I think, but we don't know who he is yet because they haven't shown it yet. But he keeps saying like, if this doesn't happen, then somebody will. Yeah. Okay.
So if they don't find a son, he loses power, and then they get like disassembled pretty much. So in the future,
so I guess the question is how they connect. Like how is this guy in the Yakuza connected?
Because episode 3, he calls them a team. He's like, yo, we're individual professionals. Don't ever call us a team like that. I'm out of the ranks. But we'll get to episode 3. Episode 2 is when all this shit happens. I mean, they just jumped off. So the guy gives the mom pretty much a grocery list of all this shit to buy. So I can't explain for you to realize how something's wrong with the dad. So we need to figure out something. So I'm gonna play a clip, and it's Dub. So shout out to the Dub boys.
I wasn't sure if I could find a copper plate.
You're fine, and the suitcase will work perfectly.
So what's the plan?
I'm turning the bathtub into a pot and cooking the body inside of it. I'll attach the plate to the IH heater using aluminum tape, and after that I'll fill the tub with hot water. When I insert the copper into the bath, the induction heater won't get wet. You know how when you cook meat, it gradually gets smaller the more the water evaporates? It's the same principle, but with a body instead.
I see. Is there anything I can do to help you?
No, you've done more than enough.
But...
whip up our Reika a nice home-cooked meal. She needs it. Okay?
So it's multiple things to take away from just that dialogue alone. How the fuck you MacGyver a crock pot out of a fucking bathtub? Even after that scene, he put all this cardboard together and all the aluminum, taped it down, and made the fucking crock pot contraption. The wife was just like, "You need anything else?" I was like, "What the fuck? You're not gonna even ask, like, yo, how? Like, how do you know all this stuff?" And then the dad just switched it over.
You shop for that. Like, where did you go? I know you didn't just go into Ace Hardware or Home Depot and was like, "So I need this, and this," and somebody wasn't like, "May I ask what you're making?" Like, what are you doing? Why are you buying all this stuff?
I got
that's what's crazy to me.
So he's like, "No, just whip up a meal for Rekka and we're good to go." And then, Lord and behold, turns the fucking Noru's dead body into a pot roast, and then he's watching it. He's sitting there watching this happen. He's sitting there watching his body cook
slowly
in the bathtub, slowly. But before he got to that part, he dresses up as Koichi breaks into the apartment, and Tetsu somehow just wraps up a maid outfit and just like, "Oh, I'm a cleaner," and you know. They told me to come in here and clean, and he's like, okay. You mind if I call my friend I'm looking for? See if the phone rings. So, of course, Tetsu breaks the phone. The GPS did all that stuff. So luckily he did that. After that, he leaves. that's when we get to the wife and buying the stuff, and they tell Rekka to go live with them for a while, for like a week or something. While it's like finals or something like that. He was like, "Oh, I just want to clean your apartment and all that stuff." So he slow roasted the fuck out this dude.
What was
And I
crazy
guess-
was that there was, with what happened and then him coming in to look for him, the dude gets, just like you said, air conditioned with a rice cooker. There's no way that that's not still there somewhere. Like there's nothing, there's no way he cleaned that up. So like, why did he just go straight into the room? He was too willing to just be like, oh, okay, well, nice to meet you. Cool. Bye. Cell phone, let me call it, yada, 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 and then go, instead of actually looking around. Because I feel like if you would have taken the time to look around, you would have found something. Like you didn't find blood on the ground. Like
the wife
dude's
came
head
in
is
cleaned
slashed
up.
open. But I thought that was after he snuck in. Is that after or before he snuck in?
Out beforehand, because when he was dead on the ground, she immediately got in the cleaning mode.
Oh, that's right.
And that's when the daughter came in, and then he was already in the
Which would
bathtub.
explain why he had the maid costume, because it was really just so he didn't get dirty while cleaning stuff up, and he didn't have to get rid of his clothes, I think. But
after that, the fucking tit for tat cat and mouse game starts. So after he cooks the nigga down, he throws his ass in a trash bag in a suitcase, and then walks him home. Mind you, the Yakuza's outside the house waiting on them. So they just let him pass and go in the house, and they're still watching. So I think Tetsu leaves, and he's like, damn. Well, before he leaves, the wife was like, there's a car outside. I never seen, no neighbor has that car, and I never seen that car parked out there. And he was like, oh, they're probably watching us. So then Tetsu leaves to go to fucking Home Depot and shit. Pick up a potter, dirt, all these fertilizers and decomposits and all, and a shovel. That's when you ask the questions like, oh, what is he doing? So,
well, they were typical gardening tools. Majority of that was stuff that you could say you run a garden. So that's why that one wasn't as strange to me as like, because he needed a certain amount of liquid and like certain types of liquid and stuff for the last one, compared to this, like he's just kind of buying gardening supplies, but an intense amount of gardening supplies. And then as he's doing this, which was crazy to me, like he's taking his time instead of having like his head on a swivel, but he does take the time to like put the little shirt in the suitcase and stuff to make sure like nobody is following them or whatever.
Yeah.
I think what I really liked about it was we see more of the split personality of the other dad, the salesman guy. That's clearly a bad guy, where he just kind of snaps because they're like, "Have you found my son yet?" And that's when we really find out that the son is like why the son means so much to him and all of that stuff. But to see how depressed and dark he gets, it's like, okay, well, now we see why you work with the Yakuza, because there's definitely something off about you. Even though he says that he uses guys like that because he's too weak to kill or anything like that, or to punish any of the people that he wants to punish. But I think that's a bunch of BS. And if it's not a bunch of BS, then he is the type of character that I do not like. Like if you're gonna murk somebody, please do it yourself. Unless I actually work for you, but you cannot have perfectly clean hands and have never like ended someone's life and you expect me to on a regular basis. You ain't never killed nobody? Like never?
Well, okay. That's what we gotta figure out for the further episodes that come along. But the Yakuza tracks him down, opens a trunk, and looks through the suitcase, and there's nothing but clothes. And then you see a flashback of the trash can that's obviously got the decomposed cooked body of dude. So he ends up saying, "Oh, somebody opened the trunk and I had to closed like this, so just in case something would happen, and I know somebody was in there. So he kind of low-key booby trapped his own suitcase. Then loads up the car, goes back home after telling his wife, oh, they was here. They're following me. Are they still outside the house? And he's like, yeah. So they sent her this, all the planning stuff. And he's like, yeah, you need 100 kilograms of this and then to 1/3 of this and 2/3 of that. I'm like, how the fuck you know all this
bro,
shit?
like, he has been here before. Like, there is no scenario where this is his first rodeo doing something of this nature. Like, I mean, I get he's supposed to be your salary man by, like, you know, occupation, but the level of calmness that he approaches this stuff with, like, the ability to plan ahead while you're basically under surveillance from the Yakuza, like, that's not normal. He is not a normal person. And I understand, like, you know, for his job, he's supposed to be like a crime writer, so he has to, like, inquire ahead into some of these things, but, like, that far, this easily, it doesn't, it's not adding up. And that's honestly what makes me most curious about this, to find out more about him, to understand, like, how he's this capable this quickly.
But it gets better. It gets better.
Wait, before you get into that, because I want to say something about what he said, to explain it, because what he says, he explains it away to his wife as, like, that he reads a lot of detective books. And so that's how he explains that he knows so much about these different things. But when he says that, just like you said, it catches you off guard. You're like, well, it's logical, but just like you said, to this extent, it's giving Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, when I watch that show, and it's like, oh yeah, he reads a lot of books, or he does this and that, but, like, or he knows this stuff because he worked with taxidermy for a while, or he worked with meat for a while, but you're also just a serial killer.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I think about a similar situation to this, in, like, you know, in Breaking Bad, when, you know, they tried to dissolve the body in the bathtub. Like, they were gagging at the smell of it and stuff, and, like, you know, they couldn't be around the area. They had to fumigate his whole Jesse's whole house after it. This man just like, well, I'm just sit here with a smile on. Well, not even a smile, he just no emotion, baking his man's to put into the garbage can.
Maybe he was raised by morticians, and so he's been around.
That's why you gotta keep watching.
Maybe that's why. Who knows?
But it gets better. So the daughter walks in, just like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And they're like, "Oh, we just, we want to make a house plant garden thingamajiggy." It's like, you know, you got a front lawn, right? I got a planter. Oh, don't worry about it. Well, get the shovel. We could make some plant some stuff. And so they all go out as a family, and they're like, all right, dude, you're up. So the guy comes up in a suit. He's like, I'm house appraisal and stuff like that. So you got 1 minute of your time, so Koichi can sneak into the house again. Well, not again, sneak into their house. So he's gonna do another B&E. And then they see right through the bullshit. It's like, oh, no, we're kind of okay. You got any business cards, or what's your phone number so we can call the company? Oh, damn, I fucked up. Well, I ain't got no business cards, so I'll just leave you to it. It's fine. So the daughter kind of, I don't know why she looked in, like, a little breezeway. I guess she might have heard something, maybe.
She did look like she peeped something that we didn't, like.
So Koichi is in the closet, and he's like, I don't know, man, something's off. So he could have just outed them right there. The trash bags were right there, full of the body parts. I don't know how he didn't smell anything. But I guess the dad did say something about, oh, I need to bury this in, like, X amount of time before they start decomposing. So I guess he had that down pat, or he could have bought some special trash bags. Who knew? But later on, the mom starts cleaning. And she activates detective mode. Just like, this little piece of furniture is out of whack. And then the dad starts breaking it down. Oh, it's a listening device in there. I'm like, the fuck do you know? It's just like, oh, bug, you've been bugged. He's like, this ain't the only one, obviously, right? So they go to the daughter's room and write down a whole fucking script of what to say. It's like, well, I'm just saying. And then Koichi listening in the car, he's seeing through the bullshit they're saying, but he can't prove it. That's his whole problem. I can see through your bullshit, but I can't prove it. Like, there's no hard evidence to be like, you did something. I'm gonna find out. He's going the long about way. So the weird thing about episode 2 is it's like Koichi seems like the detective. He seems like the good guy, and the dad and the mom seems like the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't watch episode 1, you're just looking at this. Oh, damn. They look like the bad guy hiding something. This Koichi guy looks like he's like the good guy. That's kind of that was probably the interesting part of episode 2, besides the cat and mouse stuff going on. But after that, he got sick and tired of the bullshit. It's just like we gonna end this tonight.
That's what I like about episode 2 is because it ties into what I said about why the thing that I like about the anime as a whole is that it really makes you check your own morality and what you consider good and evil and right and wrong and acceptable reactions and stuff like that. Because when you looked at that episode, you were like, okay, these are real criminals and this is just the good guy. And we're seeing it. And I also feel like we keep getting different perspectives in a way. Like, I felt like this episode was more, even though we saw a lot of the family, I thought it was more to who the Yuichi guy is. I wish one day I'm gonna remember his name. Kiyoshi. So, but I also felt like you were like, oh well, they wrote up this whole script, and then you were saying that Kiyoshi just thought that there was something off. I don't think that was the case. When I watched it, I felt like I found a flaw in what they said when they were talking and they were reading the script and everything. And at first things were going good, and they were talking about how the daughter had a stalker and this and that to, push the eyes off of them onto somebody else. But then they mentioned that they found the listening device. Instead of just acting like they were having a normal conversation, they mentioned that they found the listening device, and there may even be more. Okay, why would you say that? Because now, because if you know that there's a listening device in your house, who ain't going to walk around and check the rest of their house right then and there? They're not going to find one and then start talking about it
next to the one that they found.
Next to the one another one that they found. So it's like, okay, even if the transmission stopped in one, which clearly, and then that's usually what happens when you get rid of a bug. It's the different, I don't know. It was weird because they were having this whole conversation in Reika's bedroom. And the one that she found was behind the living room TV or bookshelf or whatever. So either they pulled it out and then moved it into that room, or they were in front of a different one. But when they tore it apart and found it, how did they not know that they had found it? But regardless, they told on themselves, in my opinion, right then and there. I was like, oh, okay. So when we find out that he knows, he totally saw through it. It was like any doubt that I had. And then the fact that I felt like if they thought that somebody was in there, or since we already know that they're being followed based off of the suitcase being open when he finds out they had looked into his trunk while he was in Home Depot buying planters and crap. Instead, he's too loose, even at home. They're leaving stuff in their closet. They're leaving stuff in the living room. And I mean, not the living room, but in the bedroom. And then even when they're leaving the door unlocked, why did the daughter come in 3 times while they was talking about putting all these pieces and bits and pieces in this planner, being really weird. It just didn't, some of it didn't make logical sense at all, but it still made for a good story. But the fact that they were willingly talk about just random things, they were like, why did they come all the way inside and straight up to the bedroom and dig in the planner? instead of looking around the house or whatever. Like the bad guy even says that.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you're not thinking of everything. Like, which one are you? Are you an expert, or are you just making simple mistakes because you had to practice?
I say the only thing was to add the stalker into leaving and listening device. You can plead ignorance if questioned at that point. Well, the stalker, that he must have left the listening device in there. He's just like, I guess that'll be enough to just piss me off because you know I did it.
Well, I think they did say that. I think they said that the stalker left the listening device, and then she says maybe there's more, and then they go on to
that's
something
when you get
else.
in episode 3 of that, how they got to that part. But what y'all give episode 2?
2, I'm probably giving a 5. Again, like in spite of the because getting into episode 2, you finally really got to see the opening song at the beginning of the episode, and like that was kind of flat to me. Like in spite of like the lack of budget that you can tell is in the series, despite of the lack of like any like real like exciting anything about it, like beyond the concept, they still find ways to draw you in. Like there's nothing like vibrant about it visually. There's nothing exceptional about it, like sonically. Like it's a pretty basic bare bones story. Well, a pretty basic bare bones anime, but the story is so enticing that it draws you in and makes you want to continue to see more. So I think they did that excellently with the second episode. So yeah, I got to give them a 5.
Yeah, I'd give it a 5 too. I would definitely give it a 5.
Otis what Mappa to do the show.
Yeah, they need something, or just a little bit more like find a colorist that can make something like either really dark about it or like something that makes it stand out somewhere. Because like I look at this and I see like 2007, and
damn.
Yeah,
I think it's perfect.
See, I feel like that's the art style of it. I think it works for the tone of the show.
Right.
I think if this took on any other concept, then you would be right that it's bland. But I think it worked. What I thought was really bland and was the intro, like the intro song, the intro visuals. It was all just like blah. But I am a sucker for shows that have like an intro that are a completely different tone than the show. So I like that aspect of it. But just like you said, you want to know what's going on, like what's going to happen next. And I felt like we started to kind of grasp on, like when we go into episode 3, I think we're going to grasp more of the characterization of these characters, like who they are, why they're thinking the way that they're thinking. So yeah, I liked it.
They prioritize writers over the art, pretty much. So.
Absolutely.
I get episode 3 of 5. I mean episode 2 of 5. Excuse me. Episode 3 takes off. These shows this episode always have weird openings. Like he's talking to some guy at a body shop and just like, oh, I can tell you're an honest guy. I was like, all right, what does got to do with anything? But in the episode 2, Tetsu gets tasered in the park by Koichi, and there's a B&E at the house, and they tie up the mom and saran wrap her mouth and all that other stuff. So it's about to go down. So episode 2, they're at this warehouse. They got Tetsu there. He got a plastic bag over his head. So every question he gets wrong, he's just getting punched in the face. So just like, there's no stalking, right? They're like, somebody's stalking my daughter. He's literally punching like 10 times in the face. They're like, all right. I'll tell you everything. Relax. Stop punching me. So there's a whole interrogation on that side, then an interrogation in the house with the mob getting interrogated by like 6 dudes. And they're like, why the fuck are we doing this job for this type of guy we don't even care for? It's like, this is how we get paid, so somebody got to do it. The only thing that pissed me off was the damn daughter in the room just like creaming her jeans about this fucking guy. This, oh my god, I wish I had more time with you. What the fuck are you talking? Boy, the guy used fucking Mike Tyson punch out, and you just like, oh my god, I wish I had more time with him.
Like, beyond Stockholm.
But it is very typical of someone dealing in a DV situation.
We
that is not unheard of. So
you're just saying as a grown up. As I grow up watching it, it irritates you. But there is some truth to it. So that they're going through this interrogation of the dad, and the dad's trying to fake out the way himself away from the situation. So they're beating on him, they're throwing him off fucking cranes and shit. But he's obviously roped up by a hook. He doesn't know. He feels he's on top of a building and asking questions. And he's doing an internal monologue, just like, how should I answer this correctly? Not to give myself up, but also give myself up in a way that I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Right. And Koichi pretty much just, he's tired of it. He's just like, I know this dude's lying, but I can't. He's so crafty, I can't prove it. And then when I say the plans within plans, the wife, she had a script for this. He's like, if they ask you this, you say this. She reads off the script perfectly. And then she had a fake disorder, just like, if you ask me questions while I'm under duress, I'm going to start spouting out random shit.
He was like, what spazzing.
She's like, what's the weather like outside? She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? She's like, I'm sorry, when I'm panicking, I'm just going to say random shit.
She said she never got to finish an episode of her soap opera. And she'll never get to finish it or something.
And she's literally pissing off her captors, just like, yo, I'm ready to go. She's like, why are we here? They don't want to be there. They got Pushites on. They're probably hot as hell.
She the kidnapping got sent back.
I'm
ready to leave. And she's like, I'm praying for your friend. If anything got hurt, maybe got stuck on the side of the road, and he's just pissed. They're like,
that was a good one. They touched their spot, their heart. They was like, I hope he's all right. I hope baby all right. I'll pray for him. How can you murder someone that says I'll pray for someone you care about?
You call Koichi's like, yo, we're done. We're out of here. Just fuck it. And he calls his boss. And he's like, well, if you can't find dude, that's it for us. We just go on a separate lane. And Koichi's like, fuck this. He's like, well, if I ain't get my way, I'm just killing your ass. He's like, and then Tetsu's like, whoa, I'll help you find him. I was like, huh? Well, I was like, the show could have ended right there. But it has to continue some way, shape, or form. He's like, I'll help you find him. Knowing that's bullshit.
I'll help you find the guy that I killed yesterday. Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Right.
You're going to look real hard together.
Well, it's clear that he's not the type of guy that would frame anyone. Or at least that's how it appears. So I don't know what he was thinking in that moment, but I guess he was like, I got to say something to live. That was really his only out at that point. And he lucky that Kiyoshi was like, yeah, I'll take you up on that offer. Because he could have been like, nah, I'm going to just kill you and get this over with.
I think maybe it's some glimpse of hope that if he finds this guy, he can reform whatever partnership they do have with his dad in some way, shape, or form, keep the Yakuza together, or at least that unit together. Because as far as this is symbol right now, but if he finds the son, then so I think it's some type of hope he has to where maybe he's really not lying. He's really just giving this guy the benefit of the doubt, knowing damn well.
That's why I like his character. He looks like a decent guy that just happened to maybe be either in a bad situation or was like born into it.
Well, he's just about his money, one or two. But yeah, either way,
he's a little too righteous for me to be just about money. You know, if it was just about money, he would have just killed old boy and was like, I'm gonna keep looking, or I'm gonna like he just like I say, he just would have killed him and put it on him if it was about money. I think he's a little too righteous for that.
Yeah, I think so also. But the thing that got me in this episode, we see the dad first time under duress. And the mom's never under duress. You got these 5 dudes, they can do whatever they want to you. Yeah, you tied up in saran wrap. You just go word for word off this script. And then you ad-lib in the middle of it to make it convincing.
Yeah, she Isabella level chill from Promise Neverland. Just like, yeah, it's whatever. I got this. But go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
No, you're fine. I just can't understand. Just like you said, she's never under duress. I kind of lost my train of thought. Where was I going with that? There was something about her I wanted to say. It'll come back to me.
She's just always on point. Everything for the most part. Even after all the ordeal is done, she puts her glasses on, sits on the couch, and just puts on the anime.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Now I remember. What was even crazier was that they were able to ad lib and still use the script, like both between each other, being separate after finding out that they had a conversation. They had basically, in a roundabout way, asked the daughter if she ever had a stalker. So that's why they were like, we've talked to you, we've confirmed it with your daughter. Like, you didn't have a stalker, did you? And stuff. And I thought that was crazy. I'm like, how are y'all keeping up with this? Because I wouldn't have known what was said. And he came up with ways to, under duress at that, ways to answer without answering, or to tell a half truth. So he's telling what he actually did and stuff, but it's like, but this is still a lie because I'm spinning it a little bit.
Yeah, they do that, and then like for it to line up with what his wife was saying. Like, yeah, they had the script, but to basically be able to go off script the same way in 2 different instances is impressive. It shows, that shows like how much they know each other from their marriage. They've been together like 20 years, but still, like, under this type of situation, like, again, it just makes me feel like, yo, this is not the first time this has happened, like, or something parallel has happened. You know what I'm saying?
It can't be.
So, I mean, episode 2 is clearly the best episode, or just all the back and forth. But everything's been solid so far. Just that episode 4, I don't know, but we're not gonna talk
watched it already.
I just watched it earlier today.
I watched it like a couple nights ago.
We shall see. It's keeping you wanting, just like, all right, what's going to happen next? So it comes on every Monday, I believe, for the most part. But good. It's a good show. Obviously, we're on episode 4 because we passed the rule of 3. So we're going to keep going. So if you're watching this, go watch it. My Home Hero. I don't know. I don't know what movie or show to compare it to, because
honestly,
no.
My closest comparison to it isn't actually anime. It is Breaking Bad. There's a lot of parallels between, Tetsuo and Walter White. Like them kind of applying their own skills to their new work life, dealing with illegal means or whatever. Yeah, illegal activity. Like, if you like shows like Breaking Bad, this might be up your alley.
Yeah, it's more story based. So you look at the setting, it looks like Deep Play. This ain't it. So I mean, as Otis said multiple times.
Yeah, it's not about the fighting. It's not about the the flash. This is all about the substance, and I respect that. So substance
can go a long way. So there's been I think that's what we're losing in anime. Substance,
definitely. Like if you're looking for powers and cool fights, this ain't it. This ain't it. But if you're looking for something to really keep your attention, to make you think, and just a overall like a chill vibe, this is it. And it gets intense sometimes, where you're kind of on the edge of your seat, like, what's about to happen? is this show gonna end at 4 episodes? Like, what's
Mhm.
so?
But I thought
I
it
think
ended
it keeps you on your toes.
fairly good.
It really should have
Also,
ended it
also
too.
good in subbed and dubbed. So I watched both versions. Yeah,
I
good
did as
dub.
well.
I like it. I fucks with it. The next show we're gonna do is Heavenly Delusion.
Oh yeah.
So it's
That called Daimekyo. I think that's the Japanese pronunciation of it. Yeah. I'm down for that. I'm down for that.
don't give me the fucking up what it's called in Japanese. But think post-apocalyptic Promised Neverland, but you get to see both sides. So
That sounds like fun.
oh god, it hurts my soul to talk about Promised Neverland, how good the manga was compared to the damn live action. But don't get me wrong, season 1 was goated. Like, all right,
It was.
that right there, that made me read the manga, and then it was just disappointment. So, but with this, you get to see both sides. You get to see how select humans are living in like a bubble type society, and then you get to see outside the bubble where you see the post-apocalypse stuff. People that have no food, no water, they're just grinding to stay alive. So I watched episode 1. It looked interesting, and I've seen a bunch of clips on TikTok and YouTube. Just fuck shit starts happening on episode 2 and 3. So
yeah, it gets wild. That's definitely what I'm interested in as well. So another good pick. Yeah, we 3 for 3 for the 3
Yeah,
episodes.
I'm mad I missed Muscles.
Yeah, Marshall was that
yeah,
was
I seen it. I
I'm
watched
loving
episode
that.
4. That was a thing.
I'm loving that.
But yeah, so this is giving me very much summer 2019 anime season vibes with the Promised Neverland, Shield Hero, Doctor Stone, Demon Slayer. Like, those are all popular ones. These are like not popular mainstream, but still good in their own right. I mean, I don't have to rely on Demon Slayer, and then that's it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a stacked season, so we're gonna have a lot to review.
Shit, it's better than last season. I'll say that much. Like,
Well, I'm glad that we have things are starting to slowly pick up, because when the season first started, I was real sad. Real sad. Blue Lock was gone.
I heard.
Blue Lock was gone. Blue Lock was gone. Like, My Hero was done, and that was probably the best season we had gotten since. Like, what?
That was their best season to me.
Oof.
No, I was saying the best season since.
Oh yeah. It was the best season from because
was it
My
3
Hero
or 4?
My Hero will slow burn the fuck out you in first 6 episodes, and then they pick up afterwards. But it started with episode 1 and just kept going. So listen, we get to see Stars back next season. That's all I want to see.
I can say with this season, I'm branching out a little bit more, and shows that I don't typically go for. Like, I'm not a huge isekai person, but
there's infinite those right now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but there's so many, and there's actually a good amount that I feel like are different than other isekais, because that's why I don't like the genre. They seem very repetitive to me. So stuff like that. This was different because you don't get a whole lot of these. So I'm glad that. Yeah, listen, I watched Dead Man Death Play.
Dead Man Death Play. Yeah. We got to do that on here too.
That.
Definitely got to bring that on here.
Listen, Jobless will be returning soon, so hold your horses.
Gotcha. Well, you ready?
Another one I didn't mention, Vinland Saga. That's having a pretty solid season too right now.
Farmland Saga is the GOAT, okay? I don't care what nobody say. Farmland Saga is everything.
I'm calling it slow burn saga, but you know, it's giving you the story you want.
And that animation is crispy, like, and that the first opening River that they had was the best opening of the year so far for me.
Yeah, it's a downloadable opening, so that don't miss. You know what show did miss? I'm sad to say, fucking God damn it.
Revenger.
I watched one
Revenger is
episode
for
of
me.
Revenger.
Yeah, Revenge
I was
did not
loving it
do it.
like up until the beginning, and then I'm like, okay, what's happening? And also, High Card. High Card was like great the first like 2 or 3 episodes, and then it kind of stalled, and it
And it
picked
turned
back
into
up at the
Yu-Gi-Oh.
end. But I was just like, all right, let's try it again next season.
I got the show. It's 2-year eternity. That fell the fuck off the planet. Season 2.
Yes, until the last 3 episodes, and they like the whole season was made just for the last 3 episodes. They really couldn't diss that.
I'm not getting to the last 3 episodes. I'm done.
Yeah, I can't blame you because like it is a lot of fluff until you get to.
And I will say,
See, what we should do with him is we should make him watch it so we can do a review, just like he made the ladies do Uncle from Another World, and then we were like, "Did you watch it?" He said, "What?"
Isakaoji song was fire. You didn't? You're like,
it was not. No, it was not. Are you kidding?
I said I did not watch that show.
I mean,
you
gotta be joking.
I thought it was hilarious. Like, I mean, the concept of like the episodes was stupid, but like I appreciated how they mixed the modernness of like experiencing the internet and then just threw like the random isekai story stuff in there of him being just ultra oblivious. I appreciated that.
Okay, that is like one portion of it. We all appreciated that too. Those were one of the only good things that we actually could say about the show. You cannot say that it was hilarious. It was more like it made you chuckle here and there, but it was not having you fall on the floor laughing. You get funny. I got a funnier scene last episode of Demon Slayer with Tanjiro and this boy running around with this mask. They are funny.
Shout out to episode 4.
No, I was talking about 3.
Episode 3, yeah.
Oh,
but
4 was just hands. Loved it though.
Nezuko.
Cute Nezuko.
But Tanjiro showed up as he's supposed to. And now we get the love Hashira. She's finally running into battle. So get to see what she does.
Yeah.
So, go check out episode 1, Waifu Views. They do talk about Uncle from Another World, and it's shown it pretty hard. But they watched it. They sat through it. I didn't watch it, and they criticized.
He refused to watch it after we reviewed it. Then he was like, "It was never a thing." No. He made us watch something he hadn't even seen.
Made is crazy. We need to switch that up. I recommended it, and y'all took the bait.
No, you recommended Darwin's Game, and I was like, I've already seen it. It's great. I'll rewatch it. That was the recommendation that we took. You just came and was like, your anime for this week would be Uncle from Another World, and then I was, which was fine because it was on my watch list.
All right, so there you go. You can scratch it off.
But it was a struggle to get through. It was just very slow.
Struggle
Like I liked the concepts and I loved the nostalgia aspects of that show, but as a whole show, maybe I would have liked it more if I just watched it like episode one day and episode
I watched it weekly as it was coming out.
See, because that is a show that I feel like it would have been better because you would have got just enough haha each night. But watching it as a full season, don't do that.
Don't do it to them.
That's fair.
Don't do it to yourself.
That's fair.
Go to sleep.
Check out Ebony.
But see, now if I look at it in that aspect, then I do like it.
Don't forget to check out.
I do want a season 2.
She criticized it once a season 2. No, we're not doing this.
I mean, with the way the first season ended, they have to do a season 2. And
I want one, and also because I just feel like you can tell that the show has the potential to be great,
but
it's just sometimes the first season is like testing the water. I felt like this is how I felt about that. I felt like that show, like somebody went to the execs of whoever did that, and was like, this is the concept I have for this show. And they was like, I love it, make it. And so they're thinking that they're going to add stuff to it and make it even cooler but then they just left it however it was. It almost felt unfinished. Like,
They
it's
they
not
produce
That's-
the draft.
I cannot argue that at all. But they did run into some major issues during it. Like they had to take multiple breaks within the release of the show.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
And I think that did hurt it some. I think it was supposed to be more episodes initially, but they just kind of wrapped it up in I think it was the 8 or no, it was like 10 episodes. It wasn't a full 12, I don't think.
It was 11.
It was 11.
Like we made it, so this is what you're gonna get, and then now just hanging in purgatory.
But it tells you at the end. It's like I think they tell you at the very end that there will be a season 2. That like season 2 is already in the making or something.
So,
but how it ends, it's clear that they're gonna have a season 2, as long as they still decide to keep the budget. Because y'all know Netflix will drop a show real quick for not doing great numbers.
the question is, are you gonna watch it if this is season 2?
No, I'm gonna watch season 2.
Here we go. That's all we needed. That's all I need. So all that filler and fluff, she's still gonna watch it. But check out Ebony Moonbeam with the waifu reviews.
Please do.
Coming out, and you got your Twitch and all that. Where they can find you at?
You can find me at Ebony_Moonbeam or Ebony Moonbeam. It differs for some. On Twitch, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook like page, all of that. I cosplay. I love anime, as you can see. We talk about it. And I'm just overall in love with the fandom. So come and check me out. Follow me, like, share, all that fun stuff. Let's be friends. I'm always looking for new Blerd friends.
She got Fire Raven cosplay, so if you see her on that on TikTok, support it.
Yeah.
You know. And then Luffy, Then and Now podcast. Jason Richardson, they do an interview with him.
Sir.
They got much more going on, so where they can find you at?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at lelouch.v, but you can mostly find me on blerd.com. I'm always releasing a lot of content on there, getting connections with a lot of new people to talk to. So we always have some type of write up there that's worth checking out. And we also got some merch. We released a new Black Fayday t-shirt with a collaboration from the actual Black Fayday. So yeah, check it out. Give us some support, man. The design is dope. So
Controversy.
I thought I'm buying that.
Controversy fee. We actually talked to them. We did talk to them. It was a collaborative release.
Shout out to the
fired.
shout out to the submarine subliminal right there. So it's all. But that's 2022 nonsense. It's a new year, new us, new black people. So yeah, Blerd Cartel. No, there's always new black people. Blerd Cartel, Facebook, IG, YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, TikTok, Twitch, all that stuff. Roundtable. New episode. Is That Your Chick? So we're gonna do anime couples that should have been together. Maybe Koga should have been with Kagome. Maybe you should have kept
that's toxic. Wow.
Maybe you should have kept that Kikyo bitch with Inuyasha. I'm just saying with certain things. So it don't have to be just anime, because we all know Peter Parker shouldn't have been with Mary Jane trifling ass. We're gonna have women on here also. I know Ebony Moonbeam is gonna be on. Pinky Senpai is gonna be on. A couple other Blerdettes coming on. So I mean, it's not gonna be a bunch of Negroes just talking. So we're gonna enjoy ourselves with what men should be with what women. So we'll go back and forth. So I mean, follow us, Blerd Official, YouTube, all that stuff. 3-episode rule. This was my home hero. Go watch it. It's good. It's fun. We out though.